Before you hear a single strategy or principle, pause for a moment and ask yourself this question: what if everything you've been taught about success is incomplete? We live in a world that celebrates noise, speed, and constant attention, yet most people feel more distracted, exhausted, and unfulfilled than ever. Everyone is speaking, posting, proving, and comparing, but very few are truly progressing. This is not an accident. It is the result of focusing on the wrong things. This message is not for those looking for shortcuts or instant motivation. It is for those who are ready to win quietly. It is for the individuals who understand that real power is built when no one is watching, and real success is formed long before it is seen. What you are about to hear challenges the habit of seeking validation and replaces it with discipline, clarity, and self-mastery. As you listen, you may feel uncomfortable at times because growth often begins where comfort ends. These words are designed to shift your thinking, sharpen your focus, and remind you that your greatest advantage is not talent or luck, but control over your mind and actions. If you stay with this message until the end, you will begin to see why silence is strength, why self-focus is freedom, and why the future belongs to those who are disciplined enough to ignore the noise. Do not listen casually. Listen with intention. Because by the end of this message, you will not just be motivated, you will be mentally prepared to move differently, think differently, and build success in a way that lasts. Silence builds inner strength because it trains the mind to rely on discipline rather than external validation. When a person chooses silence, they stop leaking energy through unnecessary explanations, arguments, and emotional reactions. Every word spoken without purpose weakens focus, while controlled silence sharpens awareness. In silence, thoughts become clearer, intentions become stronger, and decisions are made with logic instead of impulse. This inner strength is not visible to others, but it becomes a powerful force that guides actions with confidence and patience. Silence also protects vision from negative influence. When goals are shared too early or too often, they become exposed to doubt, criticism, and opinions that were never requested. Most people do not criticize because they understand, but because they project their own fears and limitations. Silence acts as a shield, keeping the vision untouched by discouragement. A protected vision grows stronger because it develops in a space free from comparison and distraction. In a noisy world, silence creates mental independence. It allows a person to observe rather than react, to listen rather than respond emotionally. This ability strengthens self-control, which is a key ingredient of success. Those who react to every comment lose direction, while those who remain silent maintain authority over their mindset. Silence does not mean absence of action. It means action guided by clarity. When the mind is quiet, focus deepens. Energy that would be wasted on proving, defending, or impressing others is redirected towards skill building and execution. Over time, this habit creates emotional stability and resilience. Challenges feel lighter because the mind is not burdened by outside noise. Silence becomes a personal space where confidence grows, plans mature, and discipline strengthens through consistent effort and thoughtful observation. Self-focus is the foundation of personal mastery because it directs attention toward what can actually be controlled. When an individual focuses on themselves, they stop wasting mental energy on comparison, competition, and approval seeking. Most people remain stuck not because they lack ability, but because their attention is scattered across other people's lives, opinions, and achievements. Self-focus brings the mind back to its own responsibilities, habits, skills, and mindset, which is where real progress begins. Personal mastery develops when a person becomes deeply aware of their strengths and weaknesses. By observing daily behavior, identifying flaws, and working deliberately to improve, self-focus creates steady growth. Instead of blaming circumstances or waiting for motivation, a self-focused individual takes ownership of outcomes. This ownership builds confidence because progress becomes measurable through personal improvement rather than external praise. Self-focus also strengthens discipline. When attention is centered inward, distractions lose their power. Trends, noise, and emotional reactions no longer dictate behavior. The individual learns to follow routines, maintain consistency, and stay committed even when results are not immediately visible. This ability to remain disciplined without supervision is a clear sign of mastery. Another important aspect of self-focus is emotional control. By understanding personal triggers, fears, and desires, a person gains the ability to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This control leads to better decisions, stronger relationships, and long-term stability. Emotional maturity is not developed by watching others, but by studying oneself honestly. Over time, self-focus creates alignment between thoughts, actions, and goals. Daily efforts begin to support long-term vision. Skills improve, confidence becomes internal, and progress feels intentional rather than accidental. This alignment transforms ordinary effort into meaningful advancement, allowing personal mastery to grow through consistent awareness, responsibility, and purposeful action. Most people fail because they seek validation instead of discipline, and this habit quietly weakens their ability to grow. When validation becomes the goal, actions are chosen based on how they will be perceived rather than how effective they will be. This creates dependence on praise, approval, and recognition, which are unreliable and temporary. Discipline, on the other hand, demands effort without applause. It requires commitment even when no one is watching, which is why many avoid it. Seeking validation shifts focus outward. Instead of improving skills or correcting weaknesses, individuals chase attention and reassurance. This leads to inconsistency because motivation rises and falls with external feedback. When praise is present, effort increases. When it disappears, discipline collapses. True progress cannot survive under these conditions. Discipline creates stability by grounding behavior in personal standards rather than public opinion. Validation also encourages shortcuts. People are tempted to display results before they are earned, exaggerate progress, or abandon long-term goals for quick approval. This weakens character and delays real success. Discipline follows a slower path, built on repetition, structure, and patience. It values process over appearance and effort over recognition. Another danger of validation seeking is emotional vulnerability. Criticism feels personal, and comparison becomes unavoidable. This emotional pressure drains focus and confidence, making challenges feel heavier than they are. Discipline protects the mind by creating clear routines and boundaries. When actions are guided by habit instead of emotion, progress continues regardless of external reaction. Those who develop discipline learn to measure success privately. They track consistency, improvement, and effort rather than likes, applause, or acknowledgement. Over time, this inner accountability builds strength and self-respect. While validation fades quickly, discipline compounds, creating skills, resilience, and achievements that last far beyond momentary approval. Consistent habits matter more than loud intentions because success is shaped by what is done daily, not by what is promised occasionally. Intentions are easy to express and often sound impressive, but they carry no weight without action. Many people talk passionately about their goals, plans, and dreams, yet their daily behavior remains unchanged. Habits, even small ones, quietly determine direction because they shape skills, mindset, and discipline over time. Habits work in the background, often unnoticed, but their impact is powerful. A single positive action repeated consistently creates momentum, while repeated negative actions slowly weaken progress. Unlike intentions, habits do not depend on motivation or mood. Once formed, they guide behavior automatically. This is why individuals with strong habits continue moving forward even when enthusiasm fades or circumstances become difficult. Loud intentions can create a false sense of progress. When people talk too much about what they plan to do, the mind receives temporary satisfaction, reducing the urgency to act. This leads to delay and inconsistency. Habits remove this illusion by demanding action regardless of recognition. They require commitment without applause, which builds real character and results. Consistency also builds trust within oneself. Each completed habit reinforces self-belief and confidence. Over time, this creates inner stability because progress becomes predictable and controlled. Instead of relying on sudden bursts of effort, success becomes a natural outcome of repeated behavior. This steady approach outperforms dramatic but irregular effort. Habits compound quietly. Daily reading improves thinking, daily practice sharpens skill, and daily discipline strengthens focus. While intentions fade with time, habits grow stronger. The individual who focuses on building routines rather than announcing goals develops patience, resilience, and mastery. Results begin to appear naturally, shaped by repetition, structure, and commitment rather than words or promises. Success grows quietly before it becomes visible, because meaningful achievement follows a natural process of development. Just as growth in nature happens beneath the surface before it appears above ground, progress in life begins internally. Skills must be learned, habits must be formed, and understanding must deepen long before results can be seen. Many people abandon their efforts too early because they expect immediate evidence of success, not realizing that invisible progress is still taking place. During this quiet phase, discipline is tested. There is little recognition, no applause, and often no clear confirmation that effort is working. This stage separates those who persist from those who quit. The absence of visible results can create doubt, but it is also where resilience and patience are built. Every repeated action strengthens ability, even if the outcome is not yet obvious. Quiet growth also protects focus. When progress is unseen, there is less pressure to perform for others. This allows experimentation, learning from mistakes, and gradual improvement without fear of judgment. Mistakes become lessons instead of public failures. This protected environment encourages deeper learning and long-term thinking. Many people mistake silence for stagnation, but silence often indicates concentration. While others are distracted by comparison and external validation, the quietly focused individual continues refining their craft. This steady refinement accumulates strength that becomes visible only when it is fully formed. When success finally appears, it often seems sudden to outsiders. In reality, it is the result of months or years of unseen effort. This is why lasting success looks effortless from the outside. The quiet phase builds the foundation that supports future recognition. Without this unseen growth, visible success would be unstable and short-lived. 2026 demands purpose, patience, and controlled focus because the environment ahead will be more competitive, distracted, and mentally demanding than ever before. Opportunities will exist, but only for those who approach their goals with clarity. Purpose gives direction. A world full of choices. Without a clear reason behind actions, effort becomes scattered and energy is wasted. Purpose anchors decisions and helps distinguish between what is essential and what is merely noise. Patience is equally necessary because meaningful results will not align with the pace of instant gratification. Technology encourages speed, but real growth still follows time-tested principles. Skills require repetition, businesses require stability, and character requires experience. Those who rush outcomes often sacrifice quality and sustainability. Patience allows learning to mature and strategies to evolve without emotional pressure. Controlled focus will be the greatest advantage in 2026. Distraction will be constant, coming from information overload, social comparison, and emotional triggers. The ability to concentrate on a single objective without reacting to every external stimulus will separate achievers from the overwhelmed. Focus is not about doing more, but about doing what matters with intensity and consistency. Purpose, patience, and focus work together. Purpose decides the direction, patience sustains effort, and focus ensures progress. When one is missing, balance is lost. Purpose without patience leads to frustration. Patience without focus leads to stagnation. Focus without purpose leads to emptiness. Those who master these qualities will move calmly while others rush blindly. They will make thoughtful decisions instead of emotional ones. Their progress will appear steady, intentional, and resilient. In a future defined by noise and urgency, controlled focus supported by patience and guided by purpose will become the true formula for lasting success. As this message comes to a close, remember that silence, self-focus, and success are not separate ideas, but connected disciplines that shape a powerful life. Silence protects your vision and strengthens your mind. Self-focus builds mastery, discipline, and emotional control. Consistent habits replace empty intentions, while quiet effort lays the foundation for visible achievement. True success develops away from noise, comparison, and validation. growing through patience, purpose, and controlled focus. As 2026 approaches, the individuals who rise will be those who choose clarity over chaos, discipline over distraction, and action over announcement. Let your progress be private, your focus be sharp, and your results speak with confidence. Good luck on your journey ahead. Stay committed to your purpose, trust the process, and never underestimate the power of quiet, consistent effort. Thank you for listening, and may your focus, discipline, and determination lead you to lasting success.